You are good to go.
Welcome, everybody. Here we are again at Zoom. Just to update everybody in the reasons. Of course, we had a council meeting, committee of the whole meeting last Monday, and unfortunately, one of the people present had tested positive. So anyway, we're going to Zoom, and we're going to have a Zoom meeting today to keep everybody safe. It's March the 3rd, 2022, not 2021, 2022. Starting a little late, 2:30 in the afternoon. So to start off, is there any additions to the agenda? Is there anything anybody wants to add to the agenda? Can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I move to approve the agenda.
And I'll second it.
Moved by Commissioner Susan Campbell, second by Commissioner Brian Atkinson. You've all heard the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Contrary minded, motion carried. Approval of the minutes from the January 27th, 2022. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes? Go over them. Okay, if there's no objections, can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Or corrections, rather.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Moved by Commissioner Kevin Mason, seconded by Commissioner Brian Atkinson. You've all heard the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Business arising from the minutes. Is there any business arising from the minutes?
This is a criminal record check. We have to come back on Monday.
No business arising from the minutes. Okay, the next and the number 4 on the item on the agenda is we're going to introduce our newest constable, Constable Daniel Holland, and perhaps he can introduce himself and give us some background on where he came from, is all the good and all that good stuff. Welcome,
I'll be here
Daniel.
Monday is the early second.
Hello. Hi. Thanks for having me on here. Yeah, my name is Daniel Holland. I'm the new hire. My previous experience, I've worked with the Kennebec Regional Police Force in Northern Quebec. I worked there for almost 2.5 years before deciding to leave and work as a special constable with Wilfrid Laurier University. And then I took this position.
Thank you. So how does the family feel about moving here, Daniel? That's a big question. How is the family?
Good. We just moved down to Glasgow, so we're fairly close, about probably less than 10 minutes from the station here. My family is very happy to be back in Nova Scotia and be down here. Lots of stuff for the kids to do in the summertime, so we're looking forward to the warmer weather.
Hopefully, if COVID doesn't closes down like it did the last few years, it'll be there is lots to do. We have lots of festivals here in Pictou County, of course, beaches and whatever have you. Yeah. Is there anybody else that'd like to ask Daniel questions? Well, I had hoped that we could meet in person, but that didn't happen. And we got to meet in Zoom. But anyway, all the best, and we're glad to have you aboard, and welcome aboard.
Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Okay, we're moving on to...
You're free.
Okay.
Monthly activity report. There's 2 reports there for January 22nd and February 22nd. Is there any questions on the report?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead, Susan.
In January's municipal bylaws, 10 incidents, what's that?
Municipal bylaw. I'm not sure. Can somebody else answer that question?
I couldn't hear it. What was the question?
Municipal bylaws.
What's that?
specifically to that call.
Chief,
Well,
the
there was 10
municipal
of them.
bylaw is usually noise complaints late.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there's 10 of them, so I would say probably all 10 of them would be noise complaints. I don't recall anything with respect to the dog bylaw or anything else.
Okay.
And that can be a winter parking ban as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Chief, is there anything you'd like to highlight on that report? You know, at the activity level, up, down, or?
I don't think so. I mean, for January, we're at 188 calls. We're down below 200 for the first time in, what, Mark, about 8-10 months at least.
Yeah.
So, but, you know,
Still,
it is
still
January,
up and above
February.
where we were previous years for the same month.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going back, we're still up. Our percentage is up. Just it's been down a little bit since the fall. But other than that, I think there wasn't really too much in that report that jumped out. All's worth getting into. So no, I think that's pretty good.
All right. Is there any other questions? If there's no other questions, you can ask for somebody to make it a motion to approve, accept and approve the monthly activity report for January and February.
I make a motion to accept the reports.
Okay. There a seconder on that?
I'll second it.
Who spoke?
Both of us did, but you put Kevin if you want.
Okay.
Sure.
That's why I was confused and who made the motion. Okay, you heard the motion on the monthly activity report, moved by Commissioner Susan Campbell, second by Commissioner Kevin Mason. You've all heard the report. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Commissioners Nancy Terrace and Brian Atkinson. I guess your terms are both up. And of course you can reoffer. And oh, there's Nancy. My question is, are you both willing to reoffer? Interested in reoffering, rather?
I'll reoffer.
I don't think I'm going to.
Okay, so we'll have to put up a notice for Brian.
Yes, I will add. I'll put that in the newspaper for an ad.
It'll go right away. I think that's all we have to do there, isn't it?
That's it. Just to approve Nancy for the next 3-year term.
Okay, so is that done on a motion, or how do we work that one?
You can do that on a motion. Yeah.
Okay, can I hear a motion?
And sorry, and to seek a new position.
Okay, so that'll be a motion to accept Nancy as a return commissioner and to go ahead and advertise for a replacement for Brian Atkinson. Can I have a motion on?
I'll make a motion.
Kevin makes a motion.
Yeah.
Can I have a
I'll
second?
second it. I'll second it.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Moved by Commissioner Kevin Mason, second by Commissioner Susan Campbell. You're all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, motion carried. Moving on to police dispatch. You want to speak on that, Chief? Or?
Yes, just a quick update on that. We received notice from Westville Fire Department that they will no longer be using our services for dispatch. They're also moving to Valley. And after that, we had another letter from Scottsburn Fire that they are also not renewing with us. They are also going to Valley.
Yeah, thank you. I think a thing to point out here is that we provide it as a service. It's certainly not a moneymaker for us. You know, it's $15,000. I think we get total from 17 fire departments, 2 police departments, and I found out recently we also service picked Westville Public Works Department. It can be cumbersome with all those calls coming in. We have to administer it all, and so of course our priority is in our own town here. Moving on, Police Commission bylaw. Has everybody had a chance to read the bylaw? Thank you very much, Susan, for your work you've done on it. Did you work on it alone?
No, I did not. Commissioner Kevin Mason actually did most of this. I cleaned it up, and this is just in draft form right now. So if there's anything that the commission would like to add to this, then we can get that for council approval.
No, thank you very much, Commissioner Mason. I read through it. Has everybody had a chance to read through it? There's only one change there I see, and that's the time. It's 2:30, not 2 o'clock.
Yes, it's pretty much standard practice what we're doing now, other than officially saying that we're not going to meet in July and August. So,
does there anybody have any objections? The next step is I think we have to send it to council to look at. Is that correct?
Correct. So if the commission is okay with this, it'll go to the council for first reading in March. Then I have to post it in the newspaper that we are changing this bylaw or amending the bylaw, and then it will go for second and final reading in April.
Does it have to go to the Justice Department?
It will go to them for information.
Okay, good. So can I have a motion to accept the draft?
I'll make a motion to accept the draft.
Can I have a seconder? Can I have a seconder?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I had a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
I guess you didn't hear me. In number 6, Susan.
Yeah.
Down below in A and B, you had, is B redundant with A?
Number
Did you want to discuss that, or what?
6B. So
6A and 6B, yeah.
So the board shall have jurisdiction without interference from the town council over all matters relating to the enforcement of all criminal law, federal statutes, provincial statutes, and town bylaws and ordinances. And B, yeah, so that was the question that Commissioner Mason had. The board shall further have jurisdiction over all matters relating to the enforcement of provincial statutes having local effect and town bylaws and ordinances, but the town council shall have the right to request the enforcement of such statutes or bylaws as may be required for the proper administration thereof within the town.
I'm given to understand under the Police Act, the council doesn't have jurisdiction anyway. The board, the police commission is independent of the council. They don't interfere with the police commission.
No, but I think that just says that they have the right to request the enforcement of the statute. Know that it just says that the council can request the enforcement of federal statute, provincial statutes, or town bylaws. So if the council issues are brought to council, this is the way I understand it. If the issues are brought to council, they can request that, you know, the bylaws around the dogs, for example, or just because I hear the barking. Or
that's my dog, sorry.
or what be enforced. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah, the barking dog bylaw. We'll enforce that right now.
I think you're correct, Chief.
I don't like Zoom.
I think also yeah. I also think there's a few other things here as we go through it that just need to be tidied up, and Kevin brought up good questions to them as far as, you know, should it be some subtle changes like the police where it says chief and deputy, we don't have a deputy, so it's changed to inspector, but there's a couple of other spots where it needs to be tidied up a little bit, and I think that's why it's a draft. So I think that's where we're at with it, and it's just a matter of, it'll take, you know, literally 2 minutes to tidy those things up.
All right, so are we okay with going ahead with the draft? Susan Campbell, are you okay with it?
Or do you want the other stuff addressed too? Because there's a couple of other things where I think in 5C, for example, it talk about a capital equipment to be purchased by the board. And Kevin's gotten red police chief for the board. I don't know that the board's ever been involved in capital purchase. Not I mean, I haven't requested anything capital since I've been here, so I'm not quite sure where the board fits with that, or is that just something that comes from me through the budget and then it's approved by council?
I think that, yeah,
Susan?
as far as I'm given to understand is that's why when it was written originally, if you looked at it, it was $200 or $300 was the cap on it. And that's why I said, I think 5,000 is the, if it's over 5,000, it has to go for approval through council. Otherwise it's, but that's only if it's in your budget. I mean, if we give you a budget, we'll say for, I don't know, $1 million and decide you're going to spend $1 million and 5,000, well then you're over the budget anyway, so you really can't spend it.
So typically how it's done, if the police department requires any capital improvements, it's determined through budget process and approved by council. I think what this is kind of indicating is if the police commission say, you know, we'd like to, I don't know, build a new building, well, then that's something that the police commission can request council to consider. You don't need to, I don't think, put a price on it, because a capital item is typically anything that is, you know, it's definitely more than 300, depending on what the situation is, but it tends to be in 10,000 and up. But I don't think it's necessary to put any kind of an amount with it.
Okay.
I think my main reason for asking the question was, I mean, if the police chief has the budget and wants to buy an extra body camera, you know, for like $1,000, should that be going through the council? Or, you know, if he has the budget and he needs a new body cam, and it's only $1,000, should the police chief be given that? You know, should they have the authority, assuming they have the budget?
Yeah,
they can just go buy it without having to go through, you know, the police board, or without having to go through budget deliberations or council.
That's correct.
Yeah, well, that would be no different than anything else. Be no different, CAO or the
Public Works. Yeah,
it's I mean, the same thing. If they need it, they need it. It's operational. I guess it fits under operational. Whereas if it's like I said, if it's a major, it would be different. So yeah, I don't see a problem there in that. I don't think we should have to go back to council if he needs a body cam. If it's within his budget and he has the money, well then he spends it.
Correct.
I don't think that's what that section refers to, Susan. I think you're right. It just if the board wants something at a capital purchase, like the commission here decides we want.
Well, we just did it, Chief. We did it with
horse.
We did it with the
or
server.
Motorcycle. Yeah.
We did it with the computer server. That's exactly the example.
So it refers. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. Sorry. Moving on.
Is there any more questions on it? Susan Campbell, are you okay with that explanation? You're on mute, Susan.
Lost her again.
And keep in mind, this was also first done in 1977.
Going to get the dog.
Yep.
Okay, so
while we're waiting for Susan, I had the other question there, which was 7A. It says basically the officer's assistants shall be appointed, promoted, suspended, dismissed, or reinstated by town council. So I did ask the question on 7A, should that be a role of town council, or should that not be the role of the police chief?
The police, in my opinion, if there's a dismissal, or we've had it before, what has happened is it's been the chief's decision.
Yeah.
And the hiring is the chief's decision. That's all up to the chief. I don't see where it has to go to council for that type of thing. Again, we're getting back to the operation under the Police Act. I think that's all spelled out in the Police Act, that it's up to the chief.
To the chief.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked the question there on 7A. Basically, shouldn't that be up to the chief, not council, not the board, for everybody other than the chief?
Yeah, it shouldn't be council. We do the hiring. It's the final approval, I guess, is through council, but any firing of that would be under the discretion of the chief. I would believe. I would imagine, unless it was the chief himself, and then that goes to police commissioner?
Some of that's in the contract too.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's the same with 9B.
Let's hope it never comes
there.
to that.
Yeah. Same with 9B is that it looks like, it sounded to me like the board was involved in complaints, which my thought was, the police board shouldn't be involved with handling complaints against some of the officers. Again, that would be the chief, would it not?
Yeah, well, basically, if it's a citizen complaint, it goes to 4 and 5.
Yeah,
which comes back to the chair, and the chair appoints, or the chief appoints somebody to look into it. If it's an officer, the chief usually gets somebody to look into it. If it's a chief, then we have to appoint another chief or a lawyer or somebody else to look into it. But the discipline is done through the chief. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why I questioned that 9B there. It said the board.
My personal view is I don't think the board should be involved in the day-to-day operations of anything like that. That's solely for the chief to make decisions on that. He or she is there involved in the day-to-day operations, and when we said it's once a month, and to do exactly what we're doing here, not to look after the operations of a police department.
Finish that article, Kevin. That it speaks to that about the board's involvement with what police have been saying. Everything is operational, so it's quite an interesting article. I think everybody should have a look at that.
That's that CBC article I mentioned.
That's my office. The clock.
Yeah, and then I added three additional
it talks
things
about the board.
Yeah. I added 3 additional things there, which I thought is in the Police Act, but do we include it in the bylaws about priorities, objectives, and goals, strategy, strategic plan, business plan, and the other one I thought of was business continuity. So that was just my thoughts on some of the things I saw in that bylaw.
Yeah, that's good.
Some of that stuff's dealt with by the contract too, like the promotions and the that's all spelled out in the contract.
Now, Susan, there is another bylaw on the webpage that looks really out of date. Is that something that I'm assuming going to be deleted as part of this review?
Pertaining to the police department?
Yeah. It's the one where it says the chief has to sign a book of some form every day.
Is he riding in on his horse?
Something like that.
Hey, listen, I'd like a horse. It'll have to be a Clydesdale, but I want a horse.
Yeah. So yes, once you update a bylaw, if anything, it would supersede any other.
Yeah. I don't have the link to it or the name of it, but there's also there's another bylaw on the books on the website that looks quite dated.
Sure. Commissioner Mason, you're probably right, because when we took over on council, we put 65 bylaws through in one sitting, and we've been renovating and putting new bylaws on a constant basis. It was only through kind of a fluke that I come across, and we didn't even realize, I didn't realize that we had that bylaw out there. So we've been updating a lot of bylaws, and like you said, you can see how old this one was, and even the language in it. It would certainly have the hair raised on a lot of people's heads when you see some of the. It was referring. Everything was in the masculine male gender. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. There's more out there. So that being said, I've got a motion by Commissioner Nancy Terrace. Do we have a seconder on that motion? If we don't get a second, the motion is dead.
Well, I would second it, but I also modified a lot of it, so I'm not sure that would be a.
That's not an issue there.
Okay.
So okay, the motion.
I would second it then.
Okay, the motion's been made by Commissioner Nancy Terrace. It's been seconded by Commissioner Kevin Mason that we send this draft to council for final reading. Well, I think there's 3 readings, and to have it passed, and we'll send a copy to the Justice Department so they can, if there's anything there, they find out at a place. But the other thing to realize is, you all heard the motion?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded. The other thing to realize that the Police Act overrides any other act. If there's anything in here that's contradictory to the Police Act will be the one that's taken. Okay, moving on. Thank you very much. Moving on. Police service strategy. Our plan update. Modern facility. Susan, you want to speak on that one?
Yeah, what I can share there is we seem to be moving one step closer to determining where upgrading our new facility. And that's pretty much what I can share with you right now until the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So we're one step closer.
Develop a volunteer program. That's the chief, I guess. You would speak on that.
Yeah, no updates on that this month.
No updates, okay. The bottle drive, that was postponed. They'll be going ahead with that when the snow subsides.
I hope so. It's with the youth program, and I feel awful for them. They've had a couple of sessions over the winter, but days like today when school's canceled, they're supposed to meet tonight, but that'll be canceled because of weather. It's just between the COVID restrictions and weather and everything, it's been a bit of a staggered start for them. So we're hoping that in the next little bit, with things changing around, we can get some momentum going for them. They haven't lost interest, so they're hanging in there. It's just they haven't been able to do a lot with them because of everything that's been going on.
No, it's been bad weather, bad time. I've got a big blue bag here anyway, full of bottles for them, and I'll keep filling them up until they're ready to go to help them out. So if anybody's got, just to put it out there, if anybody's got bottles, fill blue bags up and they'll be around sometime. Collect them.
I'm doing my part.
Okay.
It's been a long winter.
Yeah, you got that right. Upgrade and improvement of technology. Who wants to talk of that? Kevin or?
I can report on that just to let people know that we do have a new IT service provider, and so he's been working with the department on those upgrades and improvements. So we're moving forward in leaps and bounds on that one.
Wonderful, wonderful. Is there anything anybody want to discuss? Anything else?
Just, Susan, does anybody have any issues if I give Luke a call on a couple thoughts on that?
Not at all. Absolutely.
Okay. And it's official now. Luke is
yes
our actual service provider.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And they're local, so that's the last provider wasn't local. This is local. It's great to do business with local people. If there's no more questions, nothing to be brought up. Our next meeting will be April 7th, 2022. And I'll ask for somebody to make a motion to adjourn.
And just before you do that, Chair, just with Commissioner Atkinson not reoffering, this will be his last meeting.
Oh, thank you very much, Commissioner Atkinson, for putting your time in. Appreciate it.
I'd just like to thank you all. It was a pleasure working with you all, and the town is in good hands, I think. So anyway, thanks very much for allowing me to represent the town.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you for your service.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, folks, until we meet again.
We need an adjournment.
I thought we got a motion.
Did we get one? I missed it. I'm sorry.
No, we didn't get one. You're right. Somebody want to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.
Stay safe.